Welcome to my Lookism chapter 495 review. Beware spoilers ahead. You guys are probably wondering, where's my Lookism chapter 494 review? So what happened was, after I read that chapter live on stream, it was such a mid chapter, right? And so predictable, I decided that I'm not going to waste my time to record, edit, and post a video for such a mid chapter. Like, everything was so predictable. I predicted before I even read the chapter on live that the first gen kings were gonna neg the pre-generation, and then the only thing we had to look forward to in that chapter was Cheonliang versus James Lee, and we didn't even get to see that. PTJ teased us with that chapter, with that fight, just to say, nope, you're not getting it. So I decided I'm not going to waste my time on a mid chapter. I would rate it a 5 out of 10, honestly. Now, let's get into chapter 495 of Lookism. So we start the chapter off where we left off last time with the first gen kings surrounding James Lee, and they're blaming him for the state that Song Ji-Yuk is in now, because if it wasn't for him fighting Song Ji-Yuk, he would still have enough strength to take on the Kojima brothers and basically handle Cheonliang with no issues. I wanted the first gen kings to basically jump James Lee. They got a few attacks on him. He tried to deflect Tai Soma's punch, but it went through, and then he decided to run away with Gonseop catching up to him. And then Kwak Ji-chong goes to attack him. He misses, and then right before he leaves, he traps James Lee so that way Cheonliang could catch him. But Cheonliang over here is not even paying attention to the fight and starts tying his shoes. So James Lee runs past him. He goes to catch him, but instead James Lee goes on his shoulder and does a backflip onto the top of the compound and tells them that you guys have impressed me basically, and I'm gonna find each of you personally to fight you guys. So, and this is how they let him get away, just for him to come back individually, hunt them down, and beat all the first generation kings, when they had the chance to literally put James Lee 6 feet under. So there you go. The first gen king sold the bag. Now to get to the exciting part of the chapter. So after James Lee runs away, they focus their attention on the shaman, and the shaman's like, oh my god, I might die today, guy. He starts crying. He starts to accept his fate. In the nick of time, the people of Cheonliang, the cult members, come to rescue the shaman. Basically, the first gen kings aren't able to take on the whole town, so they decide to let it go, especially since Song Ji-Yuk is in bad condition, and the shaman gets the opportunity to run away. The shaman runs so far away, he climbs a cliff barehanded, and just is like, yes, I've survived. And that's where my boy Vin Jin comes in the nick of time and just socks him right in the face, right directly in the nose. He gets the shaman and knocks him down, and then he mounts him, starts beating on him, bop, pop, bop. And we see the shaman crying. He's like, please stop. If you hit me anymore, I'll die. And then you see his like teeth start falling out. It's like, it's all gnarly, nasty stuff. Nasty, right? Then Vin Jin, there's a panel in there where the way Vin Jin is beating on the shaman is the same way the shaman beat on Vin Jin's mother, except I don't think she was begging for her life like he was. And then, so Vin Jin stops hitting him. He starts to choke the shaman out, and right before he dies, he stops and he starts crying like, ah! Basically, he couldn't handle killing another man. He's not prepared for that, and he stops, right? He starts crying. He's like, people like you deserve to die. And you know, I respect that for Vin Jin. He still got his humanity left. And then he turns around. And remember, guys, the shaman just climbed onto the cliff, right? This is the side of the cliff. He climbs on top of it. And this is where Vin Jin socks him in the face. So Vin Jin turns away facing the cliff. And then he sees his mom's headband or scarf on the floor. And he bends down to pick it up, and that's where we see the shaman behind him with a huge boulder about to hit Vin Jin over the head. But he stands on Vin Jin's mom's scarf, and when Vin Jin goes to pick it up, he trips the shaman, and the shaman ends up falling off the cliff, and the boulder just crushes his head. Bro, this was one of the most brutal deaths in Lookism. Like I'm gonna put the panel up here, but bro, just crushed his head. That shit was crazy. I was shocked. And then the worst part after that was we get to see Vin Jin just looking at it. He's shocked because he didn't even want to kill the shaman. He couldn't kill the shaman. And then we see Cheon Jin standing behind Vin Jin saying dad, and just witness what he thinks is Vin Jin killing his dad. This was a crazy chapter. So what I think is gonna happen next is that Vin Jin and Cheon Jin are gonna fight right there on the cliff. And this is my theory on what's gonna happen in the rest of the Cheonliang arc. Vin Jin is gonna fight Cheon Jin on the cliff. Cheon Jin's gonna lose because at this point, Vin Jin has training from Sun Ji-Yook and he's awakened his potential as Mu Jin Jin's son. He's gonna lose to Cheon Jin, but he's not gonna kill him. Cheon Jin's gonna run away, and then Vin Jin's gonna regroup with his friends, Mary Kim and the gang, and then and also the first Jin King. And this is the point in time where, because of the blood loss, his sickness, Sun Ji-Yook is gonna die. Everybody's gonna think that Vin Jin kills the shaman, that he's the one that killed the shaman by throwing him off a cliff and dropping a boulder on his head, but that's not what really happened. We all know this. But they're gonna think he did it. Plus, with the death of Sun Ji-Yook, Vin Jin is technically the strongest person there after the Kojima brothers. I don't know if they're gonna still be there or if they're gonna go back to Japan, etc. since the shaman's dead. Vin Jin's gonna become the de facto leader because the shaman's dead, and he is technically the strongest person there. Meanwhile, while Vin Jin's the king of Cheonliang and hanging out with his gang, Cheon Jin is gonna be stewing. Like, he's gonna be angry. He hates Vin Jin. Vin Jin killed his dad. He wants to get back at him, but he's not strong enough to beat him or Mary Kim. And I think this is the point in time where Vin Jin gets closer to his sister, and then Cheon Jin sees this, takes advantage, and kills her. Well, he does that other thing to her. It rhymes with grape, but it's not exactly clear that's what he did, but we're assuming that's what he did. Anyways, it doesn't matter. He kills his sister, right? Cold blood, and murks her. And I'm also thinking he also kills Mary Kim's mom, which is the only reason that she stayed in Cheonliang was because her mom was part of the cult. After he may not kill Mary Kim's mom, but he's definitely killing that girl. And after that, Vin Jin, I guess, can't handle it. He decides to leave Cheonliang because he's had so many bad memories there. And it goes to Seoul, and that's where we end up with seeing Vin Jin for the first time in like Lookism, first few Lookism chapters. And I'm guessing the reason that the Cheonliang gang hates Vin Jin is because he left them at, like, as their king. He just left them at a vulnerable part, like right after Vin Jin, the girl, died, so they blame him. And they kind of also blame him for Sun Ji's death, I'm guessing. So I'm guessing this is how it's gonna go. This is just a theory on my part. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Now, for rating the chapter, I would rate this chapter a 6 out of 10, a 6.5 or 7 out of 10, right? It's not the greatest chapter. I consider it a mid chapter. Like last chapter, I would give it a 5 out of 10. This chapter, I'd give it a 6.5. Because of the shaman's death, he totally deserved it. So I'm gonna give it a 7.5. No, 6.5 out of 10. That's a shame. That's a shame. You hate to see it. Anyways, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Leave a like, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about the chapter down below. And I'm gonna see you guys later. Peace out.